Hello, welcome to another Savvy Marketing Show, and I've got a real treat for you this time. Somebody who really knows their way around LinkedIn is Charlie Whyman, and I had a really interesting chat with her. But first of all, roll titles. Charlie, welcome to the Savvy Marketing Show. Lovely to have you on here. First of all, can you tell us a bit about your background? How did you get to where you are just now?
Where do I start? So my background is very, very varied. So I guess if we backtrack 10 years, I was in Sardinia making olive oil and started selling sort of premium olive oil in the UK. Then I worked in sports for a year, then at the NHS. But I guess the kind of turning point in my career was that I spent nearly 6 years working in the geospatial industry in sales, marketing, and business development. Then moved on from that company to the marine industry, selling healthcare and safety equipment. So I have a lot of experience working for technical businesses and sort of selling innovative products. I mean, when I was at Sport England in the NHS, I was involved in innovation. So innovation is a kind of key sort of theme.
Yeah.
This time last year, I basically decided I wanted to work with more companies and more people. So I set up my business doing training, coaching and consultancy.
So what was it that kind of made you migrate, as it were, to LinkedIn as a speciality then?
Well, to be honest, everybody kept asking me how I built relationships online with people, how I kept in touch with people around the world, and how I generated leads and sales using LinkedIn. Because when I set up my business, I didn't really know where the business was going, but I didn't really have a plan when I set up. So I knew I needed clients. So I just I went to my network because that's what I knew to do. And I had some good relationships already established. So, and then again, people kept asking me, how did you get clients in your first week of business with no website, no nothing, and no, you weren't established at all. But because I've developed that network over the years, in one way, I did have established relationships. So it was easy for me to do that. And also, I knew the customers I wanted to be working with as well. So
It's just like so many people, though, isn't it? You just you fall into something by accident, don't you?
Yes, you do. And I think when I did that, I realized that, yes, I was good at what I was doing, but it wasn't what I wanted to build. I have a vision for the future and a business that I want
I
to
have
build.
a dream.
But I didn't realize that at the time. So I kind of officially started doing the LinkedIn training and coaching in January this year. And it's been great because I can use all of the experience that I've developed over the years in sales and marketing, especially in commercial sales and marketing, working in very traditional, very technical industries. I've got a lot of transferable skills that can really help a lot of companies and individuals with their sales and marketing using LinkedIn. Plus, it's free. I mean, you can get clients for free.
It's wonderful. I started, it's funny, before we came on, I thought, do you know what? I can't even remember when it was that I started on LinkedIn. So I went on, found out it's actually just gone my 10th anniversary of joining LinkedIn. And when I started, it was just like this little kind of, it's the geeks kind of hang out at LinkedIn, but it's really, really grown over the years, especially since Microsoft took over, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, there's nearly, I think last time I checked, it was 570 million people on LinkedIn today.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's more than that now, but last time I checked, it was over 570 million around the world. And, I've actually been on LinkedIn less than you have. I think it's about 8 years since I joined. But because I've worked in very international industries and selling around the world, you can't keep in touch with people. If I met somebody over in South Africa, it's really hard to keep in touch with that person. And LinkedIn enables you to develop those relationships without having to meet them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So, and I guess as well, because when I joined 3D laser mapping, I didn't I thought laser scanners were things that you had in a club to, add to the atmosphere and add to the experience. I had no idea that laser scanners could be used for measurement, for surveying, for engineering, and all of these amazing things. So I went into an industry where I knew nothing about the industries. So that was kind of like mining, surveying, engineering. Although I did know about engineering because I did engineering at university, weirdly, but that's another story. And so I didn't know anything about the products. I didn't know anything about the industry, but I asked a lot of questions. I was very curious and very interested. And I used to go to a lot of events. So I used LinkedIn to keep in touch with the people that I met. And over time, because I started marketing based on what I knew about the products and what I'd learned, and also what I knew the clients wanted to know, people started coming to me for advice and for information. And that's how I got into sales. So essentially, when I started at 3D laser mapping, I was just a marketing assistant with no kind of formal marketing training. And then within sort of 3 or 4 years, I ended up being the global head of sales marketing. So,
so was there an actual kind of point where you felt, because this is something that I experienced, people say to me, "Oh, you know quite a bit about this and that," and I think, really? Do it? So was there a point at which you suddenly thought, actually, the knowledge that I have is of value to people, and people might be willing to pay for that?
Yeah, probably in November, December last year, regarding LinkedIn. Because to be honest, in November, December last year, I wanted to help companies, especially technical companies, do trade shows better in the simplest form. Because having organised and participated and attended many, many trade shows over the world, I could see how other companies struggled with that. I've experienced struggles in the past, I've overcome them, but I see so many companies struggle. So I had this crazy complicated vision of teaching companies how to do trade shows better. And anyway, as it turns out, that a lot of the companies I was talking to didn't want to learn these skills. They just wanted somebody to go and do it for them, which wasn't something that I wanted to do. But the more I started talking to people about how to use LinkedIn to get more from your trade show and event, the more people wanted to know more, kept asking me questions. And I think it realized it was one of those light bulb moments that, actually, there's so much people don't know about LinkedIn. And there's a real opportunity because people want to know how to use the platform better. And I saw that as my opportunity to work with the clients I really wanted to work with, and give them skills and experience that they could apply very quickly, that would then transfer into actual customers, referral partners, and you get instant benefit, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that was appealing to me as a service provider and as a trainer, and also it was appealing to the clients that I work with. So,
and it's interesting you're saying that it's about the kind of people that you want to work with, because back when you and I joined LinkedIn, it was actually quite tricky to link up with anybody that you didn't already know, wasn't it? Because you had to select that, I'm a colleague of them, or we've worked on this, or we were at the same college together, this kind of thing. But then that all went out the window. You could connect with anybody. So I suppose there's that temptation just to sit there and on the, we suggest these people just go tick, 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 tick,
yeah.
like that. So you definitely think there's merit in cherry picking the kind of people that you connect with, yeah?
Oh, for sure. I think if you limit yourself to the people that you know, you will limit the opportunities available to you. I also think it's worth getting to know the people in your network. So don't just go for it for vanity metrics to try and get more people into your network. To me, that's a bit like going to a networking meeting, giving somebody your business card, and then walking away. You wouldn't do that. So it's the same online. If you connect with somebody, or if you have somebody in your network, strike up a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this in the newsfeed, or you can do this in Messenger. And I think there's a big resistance or a big expectation that when you use LinkedIn, that you automatically have to go and sell to somebody. which is not the case. You know, people buy from people that they like, you know, people that they know and people that they trust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've got to establish that know, like, and trust before you go straight in with the pitch. And I know that there are a lot of people on LinkedIn that if you personalize your invite or if you start a conversation, some people have the mindset that they don't want to waste time talking to people about, you know, sort of chewing the fat or getting to know them. Whereas I'd argue that, you know, that's what sales is all about. It's all about developing those relationships and getting to know the person, because we've all got our own unique networks. It's not just about connecting with the people that you want to sell to.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with people that you have common interests, connecting with people that can add value to you, but that you can add more value to them as well, because that's networking. You know, it's all about the win-win. It's about just as much, if not more so, about giving as it is about taking.
Yes, it is. It's that value thing there, because I get it quite a lot. You know, I'll get a connection request from somebody, and you think, yeah, okay, they look quite interesting. So you click on accept, and within 2 or 3 minutes, you'll get a message coming back saying, "Hey, great, thanks for the connection. Here's what we do, and if you ever need us, then, you know, get in touch." And, well, okay, you're trying to sell to me straight away. You know, why not ask me a question? You know,
Yeah.
You know, is there something that I struggle with that potentially they could be helping with? It's now, funny when you mentioned there about the networking events. So there's that little trick with LinkedIn, isn't it, that not a lot of people know about?
Find nearby.
Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so I can sort of, I did a webinar this morning all about networking at events and getting, because especially if you're at an event, you're talking to more than one person, the last thing you want to do is be like, oh, well, you know, can you spell your name? You know, it's really awkward. Whereas with LinkedIn now, if you're in a group of people, I'll show you, if you're in a group of people, if you open up the app, and then at the bottom there is a so if I kind of, at the bottom there's that little blue,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that bit there,
Yeah,
which is your network. If you click that, then at the very top you'll see in the middle a find nearby.
yeah, we see that.
Yeah, so if you click find nearby, it works on Bluetooth, is how it works. So if you're in a group of people, if you're at a networking meeting, at an event, to be honest, anywhere where there's lots of people or more than one person, if you click on that and they click on that at the same time, you will find that there's a list of all the people nearby. And it makes it really easy to connect with them.
Yeah, and there's also they've got the QR code there as well, haven't they? That you can scan that. Does that? I haven't used that one myself. Does it work?
You know, I've never met anybody that knows what a QR code is. You know, and I spend a lot of time with marketers. You know, it's like, yes, we know what QR codes are, but we don't really do anything with them.
QR code, wasn't that the thing that Stephen Fry used to do? Isn't that what it was? But, okay, here's a question then. What are the most common mistakes do you think that people are making with LinkedIn? Broad question, I know, but...
No, well, actually, so I run a free webinar focusing around the most common mistakes that people make on LinkedIn, and it's probably one of my highest converting lead magnets out there at the minute. Because everybody wants to know what mistakes they're making. You know, I do. So
well, give us a couple, because we don't want to spoil what's on your webinar and stop.
I'm happy to give you some tidbits. So the first one is outsourcing. A lot of people outsource their LinkedIn profile. I know. So I'm not going to make many friends by saying this now. But yeah, in my opinion, your LinkedIn profile is your profile. It's your online professional reputation. And if you get to know somebody, you know, it could be a LinkedIn trainer, it could be somebody that's amazing at sales, you know, you talk to them, you develop a great rapport, and they have a service that outsources the LinkedIn profile. One question, if you are going to go down that route, is to ask who is the person that's going to be doing the outsourcing. Because I would guarantee that in 95% of the cases, the person you speak to is not going to be the person taking over your profile. They will be paying somebody else to do it for what, £7, £10 an hour somewhere, if that.
If they're lucky.
And you don't know that person doesn't know you. So how can you be sure that they're going to write in your language and represent you in the way that you want to be known for? And I receive messages from people all the time, and I've called them out on it, and I've said, is this an automated message, or, have you sent this without looking at my profile? And they've either come back to me and said, yes, it was automated, or I've got my VA, or I've got somebody else to do it for me. And it's always irrelevant, it's always irrelevant. So I guess there's two mistakes in one there. Mistake number one would be using automated software. And hands up, I have used it in the past. So full disclaimer, I have used it in the past. It does work, but it doesn't make you look very good because it's not as effective as people will lead you to believe. So
it's funny because I'm automating things. That's part of my business. I help businesses with automating some of their processes, but I'm really surprised that people would actually try to automate, the parts of LinkedIn. What were you automating then that didn't work? Not that saying that automating any part of LinkedIn would work, but what was it that you tried and it just failed for you?
I think it was a few years ago now, and I got swept up with, digital marketing and speed. There was a lot of pressure to hit targets. There was a lot of pressure to get the numbers up. And I got swept up in it, and I realized very quickly that yes, this works, and you do get lots of meetings from it, because you can get automated tools that will mass connect with lots of people, and you can just mass connect without a personalized message, or you can mass connect with a general template boilerplate message based on search criteria. But the search criteria is clunky at best. And so what you'll end up doing is you'll end up sending irrelevant messages to people that don't care. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best at this, but I tried to add a bit of humor into my messaging because I didn't want to come across as spammy, and I wanted to inject my personality into it. But what I actually found was I was connecting with people that I didn't mean to connect with. And it does annoy people because you can instantly tell that it's automated. Plus, more importantly, it is against LinkedIn's terms and conditions. So, you do risk getting shut out of your account. And I also think that if you're going to have an opinion on something like that, it's always good to have tried it yourself to at least, be able to back up the claims that you're making. I could be saying, automation is really, really bad and have never tried it before. But, I have tried it before. To be honest, I wish I hadn't. But,
no, but the thing is, it's all a learning process, though, isn't it? That's the thing. Now, like I was saying, you've got this your program for helping folk with LinkedIn, and I have signed up for it, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting cracking on that. So, what can I expect on the program coming up?
That's a good question. Just quickly on the subject of automation and mistakes that people make, I think the one thing I do want to say is you can't automate relationships.
No. Yeah.
A relationship and your network is one of your biggest assets. So, if you think you might be setting up a business in the future, start developing your network now, start growing it, and start building a name for yourself. It's not just for people that are in sales. It's not just for people that have their own business and want to grow a business. A strong and a powerful network is for everybody. And you can't speed up relationships. You can't automate relationships, and they should come from you. So I won't say any more about that subject.
Well, you wouldn't send a robot along to a networking event, would you?
No, I would do to some of them, but most of them not so much. But yeah, in answer to your question about my program is, you can teach LinkedIn skills very quickly. It's an incredible tool, an incredible platform. But what I find, and this is why I do it over an 8-week period, is that you need to be able to apply, sort of the foundational sales and marketing. You need to apply the sales marketing foundations to using LinkedIn rather than just kind of like clicking and using it, because it is an online networking platform and it's all about building trust online with a network. And it's all about becoming known in your industry for what sets you apart from everybody else. And I find that that's really difficult to teach in half a day or a day. Whereas when you can split it up into 8 weeks, it's a lot more manageable to work through it. And you can learn and implement, learn and implement, learn and implement. So you get results by the end of the 8 weeks, but you've also learned some incredible skills that you can apply in your overall marketing that will last you a lifetime. So my aim for you, and you know everybody else that's joined my program, is that you will be able to actively identify who your ideal clients are. So who are the people that will benefit from your services the most, how to find and attract them, and how to do that on a consistent basis. So, you know, essentially you are attracting new customers for free, essentially is what it's all about. So,
yeah. I mean, where I'm coming from with it is very much, you know, this program and LinkedIn will be part of the overall marketing mix that I'm doing. It's not a case of, you know, okay, there's LinkedIn over there and then there's this over here and there's a bit of email marketing or whatever. Yeah, it's just how everything all fits together. That's really how people should be doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, and LinkedIn is, you know, I integrate LinkedIn with email marketing, with events, my event strategy, and you know, I have commercial experience doing marketing for other companies. I have commercial experience doing sales for other companies, and also managing the process and training teams. So I'm not coming from a place that I've just kind of figured this out to learn LinkedIn as a tool, but I've actively been using it for the last sort of 7 or 8 years to market myself, the companies I've worked for, to sell products, to build relationships. And I very much practice what I preach. So I will never teach anybody anything that I haven't already tried and done myself. And LinkedIn is just a tool. You know, you can't just rely on LinkedIn to do your marketing. There are other things available to you as well. So I like to think that, you know, it's an integrated approach, very much so.
Yeah. And when you're just talking about events, we're hoping to be welcoming along to the Savvy Business Show live next year, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, to be honest, any excuse to come up to Scotland.
Excellent. We will look forward to that. One thing, just because I don't want to be keeping you too much longer here. There's one thing I was thinking of doing. I was making up the LinkedIn Lingo Bingo card.
Okay.
That you can sit, and when you're going through your news feed, you can tick off how many you get. Delighted to be, honoured to be, chuffed to be, so happy, so proud. This is what so many people I find just putting up these kind of self-congratulatory posts, and it just becomes kind of background noise, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think I'm not into noise, you know, I'm into, you know, what is the best and most effective way of setting yourself apart from other people. And, you know, the internet is such a noisy place. You know, we're living in this incredible world right now where we've got so much information available to us on our fingertips. We're all kind of drunk on information or overwhelmed with the information available. So it is everybody's opportunity to stand up for what you believe in. So, you know, market based on your values, and to market based on what sets you apart from everybody else, because people buy from people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so much choice available. So you don't have to work with somebody that you don't like just because they've got something you need. You know, you can choose who you want to work with. So that's why, you know, when you build your personal brand and when you integrate personal branding with corporate branding or company branding, it's so powerful because it really helps you set yourself apart from everybody else. And also, especially in the culture that we're living in now, people want to know the people behind the businesses, and they care about the person that they're doing business with. So that's why it's very important to become known for what you stand for, really.
Just be yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool, excellent. It has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to have a chat with me. If anyone's wanting to find out more about your program, etc., or link up with you, what should they do?
So I'm on LinkedIn, search me Charlie Whyman, and the program is just closed for enrolment, so I will be opening that up in February next year. But if you want to find out more about the program or work with me one-to-one, because I also offer one-to-one packages, visit charliewhyman.com and get in touch with me there.
Excellent. Until we meet again, adieu.